Okay, so we've just had the weekly state of the game. Welcome back to a video regarding the Division 2. Starting it off, this one wasn't as long as the week before, and I believe next week is going to be a super long one. There's a couple of confusions around some of the things as well, so we'll get into that as we come to that part of the video. Starting off, they've said they're working on the drop rate for the apparel cash keys for future events. I don't know why they've tampered with it from the first 3 events. The 4th one's trash. I mean, I'm not even going for the Space Explorer now. I've heard lots and lots of people say they've gone through like 10, maybe even 20 field proficiencies without getting a single key. People have said the Dark Zone is the best way to get them. I'm not a fan of the Dark Zone. I don't intend to go and play that in order to get keys. Not just that, I've been enjoying the hell out of Breakpoint, so I'm going to stick with that for the time being. I mean, I'll be back to this game for TU6 in episode 2. That's a no-brainer. It does seem pretty good. So future events, better key drops, apparently. There will be no maintenance tomorrow, so you can just play all day long. They're not fixing anything. They are, however, working on server improvements for Conflict. I believe someone told me they're doing it across the board of all servers, but they cleared it up during State of the Game and said that's just for Conflict. If it works out, they might bring it to the Dark Zone servers and things like that, because they have separate servers for different content things that you do in this game. Next week is the big State of the Game talking about episode 2, and it's been confirmed. I don't know if they were supposed to do this, but they actually said October the 15th is when the update is going to drop, so it's just less than 2 weeks. It's 13 days away from today, and we will have our hands on TU6 and episode 2. They did say across the bottom in the text, like a news flash, saying it's releasing mid-October, but they didn't specify a date. The guy, I think his name was Trick Dempsey or something, I think he's a senior game designer, he was there and he said that the Expedition Mastery System will be dropping alongside the title update 6 and episode 2 on the 15th of October. Not sure if he was supposed to say that or not, but that is when it's going to release. So the Expedition Mastery System, all 3 branches of the Expedition will open up. They'll all be available at exactly the same time, and at launch, so on the 15th, they'll be available for 2 weeks. You can get yourself bronze, silver and gold medals depending on your time. There are different modifiers which I think is going to make the Expedition more fun than it's ever been. When they first released it, it was literally just 3 separate branches, you have to do the same thing. This time the Mastery Challenges will have different modifiers. As an example, they used a modifier called Dead Drop. When you kill enemies, they will permanently be holding a grenade in their hand with the pin in, and as soon as you kill them, they will pull the pin. It's a guarantee that the pin is pulled, a grenade will drop, and it's basically like a corpse explosion type thing. The red bar enemies will drop incendiary grenades, so be careful for things being set on fire. But I think as long as they add a good mix of different modifiers, it can be a lot of fun going through these. There's just one problem with this expedition that I believe so far. Another good thing to note about it is the timer for your mastery challenges will stop when you're in the echo room. So if you've done 2 of the investigations, you're on your last one. If you want to check out some gear that you found along the way, you can literally just stand there for a minute, sort your stuff out, then activate the echo, go in and do what you need to do. It's build dependent, so you're probably going to have to run it a few times to get used to using your build for what you need to do, so that you can improve your times and stuff like that. Every single thing, as I said, all 3 branches will be open on day 1. Here is the downside to it. This expedition, so Kenley College, is going to be down for 2 weeks, up for 1. So at launch, when it comes out October the 15th, they're going to have it open for 2 weeks. Then it's going to go down for 2 weeks, come back up for 1, down for 2 weeks, come back up for 1. So if you're looking to do the mastery challenges, which I'm probably going to have a little test about with, like see if I actually enjoy it, because it does sound good, but then it's a different story actually playing it. I'm not sure if a week's going to be a good amount of time to actually get in there and get all the stuff done, but I don't know, we'll have to wait and see. There are changes coming to the Shepard system, and this might actually get me to enable the call for backup request thing again, because it does sound it sounds as though they're improving it. You can now get 2 endorsements through the Shepard system. You'll get 1 from the game as long as you're doing stuff. You'll have like a Shepard bar type thing, like an endorsement bar. It'll probably be the same thing as an XP bar. Then you can get 1 from players. How it's always been, there's going to be a pop-up at the end to endorse other players. This is the bit that's got me looking into it a bit more is the fact that they mentioned there's a new Shepard seasons kind of thing. I don't know how you would explain seasons. Like, basically, you'll have rewards over the course of 60 days and it'll reset. There'll be new rewards and stuff like that. Or something along those lines. It's basically a season system coming to the Shepard system. Then they were talking about, like, because there's a lot of confusion around the Shepard system, how it all works. They were talking about, apparently you can get like 15 endorsements and you can still be Shepard level 1. But apparently there's like 3 separate rank type systems in place. And that's what makes this Shepard system work. I don't know, I'm still extremely confused about it all. And then the last thing, confusion again. I don't know why they've done this. I don't know any other game that's done the same thing. But Episode 1, Episode 2, and eventually Episode 3, they are all major DLC. They're the 3 episodes that come with the Year 1 pass. They are changing how some of the things work from Episode 1. Like, obviously, you've got the Expedition, that's going to work completely different now. But the Man in National Zoo, I know a lot of you already know this, but the zoo is now a stronghold, and Camp White Oak, even though its Black Tusk enemies, can now be invaded. So the Black Tusk enemies are going to be invaded by the Black Tusk enemies. I don't know how it works, but apparently it all fits in with the narrative. And I don't understand, like, normally with a game, they release DLC, they'll do fixes and things like that that need to be done, but you don't ever see a major DLC piece of content being reworked. So I don't understand why they're doing it. I don't even think they should be doing it. Like, I appreciate the Expedition, it was boring just as it was. But I mean, at the same time, the 2 missions, if any of us were to run through the zoo again, it wouldn't be a standard mission anymore. It's changing into a stronghold, so we can't play that as a mission. And I really enjoyed the zoo one. So I don't know, that's something to maybe discuss in the comments. And the final thing I want to talk about in this one is, like, I think there was a couple of things I didn't pick up on towards the end of it. But the named items in the game are going to have a small chance of dropping from, like, heroics and pretty much any enemy type in the game. But apparently they've buffed the exotic drop rate from heroic bosses. I don't know how much it's been buffed by. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. But as long as it has been buffed, I don't mind doing it because I've run several heroics now with no exotic drop from the boss. So it would be nice to just see a couple here and there. But that is the recap of this week's State of the Game. I'll be back next week with talks of Episode 2 and all the content coming to it, the new specialisation and stuff like that. And then the following week, I'll probably be live streaming TU6 and Episode 2 on the Tuesday when it comes out. And then obviously Wednesday, the day after, so the 16th, we will have another recap of State of the Game. But that's going to do it for this one. Let me know your thoughts and stuff in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you for watching.